Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make your own greeting card. And since it's the holidays, I'm going to be doing a holiday card. And the first thing I'm going to do is open up this file right here. If you're going to make a file for a card, you should make it the exact size that you want to put it. For example, I'm using this file right here, which is 8 by 10, but I want it to fit on a 4 by 6. What I'm going to do is save a copy of this, then I'm going to open that up and alter it to fit 4 by 6, and then after that, or make it into a card. If you don't have Illustrator, that's okay. You can also use like Microsoft Paint or any other thing like that. Just make sure that you double up the size. Like if it's a 4 by 6 card, it should open up to 8 by 6. Shrunk down the artboard size to 4 by 6, and now I'm going to shrink the image down to the same size, and I have a bleed around it so that when we cut it out of the paper later, there won't be like white space edges of the paper. But if you already made your document as 4 by 6 or whatever size you want it for your card, you can skip this step. I didn't do that, so that's what I'm fixing right here. And I just wanted to do that in case you want to use a document that isn't the exact size of the card that you want. This is how you would edit it to fit. And if you don't have Adobe Illustrator, but you would like to make a card in this software, there are 30-day free trials. All you have to do is sign up, and you can use it as much as you want, and you can cancel at any time. And make sure you label all your layers and lock the layers that you don't want to be affected. When you want to focus on one layer, just lock the other layers so that when you're trying to move the one that you're focusing on, the other layers don't get moved as well. You want them to stay in place. Because you edited the size to a smaller thing, you might have to move some things around. I'll fast forward this part because this isn't really necessary to show. Once that's done, I'll come back and explain the rest. Now that that's finished, I'm going to make another layer. This is optional. This is if you want to put text on the cover of the card. I put Happy Holidays. Just lock the layers that you don't want to be affected so it doesn't get in the way. Type in what you want, then change the font to however you like. And holiday fonts are usually cursive, so I'm going to pick a cursive font. Go through the list of the different typefaces. Then after that's done, I'll edit the size, move it around. I'll come back after I finish that. That's done. I chose the font Chopping Script. You can find it on dafont.com. That's where I got it. And now I'm going to edit the size of the person here, which is me, even though my hair or skin aren't those colors, whatever. This is just a simple drawing. Anyway, moving around the flakes a little more because I changed the size of the person. Felt like there was a lot of empty space. I could add a few more snowflakes. I'm gonna change the layout of the font. I thought that layout looked fine, but I think I'm just gonna make it centered and make it a little bit bigger. Because I have a font there now, I'm gonna move some of the snowflakes around it. Of course, gotta zoom in so you can see what you're doing. And I went to Effect, Stylize, Outer Glow. And I don't want a harsh shadow or glow behind it. I just want a soft glow. So pick which one you want. And I went through all of them to see all the options. And you can edit the color of the outer glow, the size, all of that. You don't have to stick with what they give you. It's just a little soft glow around the font. But when you do that, it doesn't work unless you outline the text. And how you do that is Command-Shift-O. And if you have a PC, it's Control-Shift-O. So once you outline the text, you can add the outer glow, inner glow, all the stylized effects. So now that I'm done the image portion, I'm going to make another layer for the guides, which will help the layout. And I made the artboard 8x6. I'm gonna put the guide where 4 is so I can show half and half. I'm gonna split the artboard in half, and then I'm going to move our artwork over to one side. And when I did this here, I put it on the left side, but don't do that. Put it on the right side, because when you cut it out and you fold it, and when you open it up, it's gonna be on the wrong side. And you'll see what I mean later when I print it out and cut it and I show you the right way. So everything I'm doing here from this point is supposed to be on the right side. So if you have a horizontal card, if you have a horizontal layout, then you can put it on the left. But if you're gonna do a vertical layout card like this, then put the artwork on the right side, so that when you fold it, the artwork is in the front and the white is in the back. It might be kind of hard to explain, but you'll see when I cut it. And because it's winter, I figured homegirl needs some mittens or gloves or something to cover her hands. So I just made another layer, drew a glove around, well, a mitten around the hand, edited the glove using the pencil tool, and then you can adjust how it's drawn, drawing over the points of the path. And I'm going to make it the same color as the hat and scarf and put an outline around it so it matches the outline of everything else here. And then after that, I think it's time to print. You don't have to do this part, but I decided to add this. For the back, I usually write my name and the year that I made it. You write all rights reserved, all that stuff. You don't have to do that, but that's what I'm gonna do. I'm also gonna put my logo. Making your own cards and sending them out, you show people your creativity and what you can do. And sometimes people might really like what you designed, and they might know somebody who can hook you up with some connections or job offer. I mean, hey, you never know. So if you're looking for glyphs, you go to type glyphs. Depending on the typeface that you're using, they may or may not have what you're looking for, like the copyright symbol, trademark, all that stuff. Not every typeface has those. On documents like this, use small typefaces like 9 or 10. 11 and anything above is going to look too big. Like if it's for a headline or something, it can be a big font size. But if it's just for like body text or something like that, don't make it big, because it doesn't look right. Now it's time to save. You can press Command S or Control S, or you can just go to File and then Save. So I'm going to save a copy. The copy is going to be the PDF. So we're going to go through the settings, marks and bleeds, use the trim marks so that you know where to cut. And we're using the document bleed settings, save. And I set mine to be able to view the PDF after you hit save. So it'll look like this, and we're cutting into the bleed. Okay, that looks fine. Now that that's done, we are going to save again, because sometimes it says you need to save again. Then you can close Illustrator. Then you can print the card out. So it looks like this because my computer's low on ink, but this is just to show you how to cut it. Yes, I just did that. I don't know why. Well, I know why, but I probably shouldn't have. But anyway, align your ruler, the guides. Don't cut that piece of paper off. Align the lines with your ruler. Make sure it doesn't fall. Hold the ruler tightly, or press down on it, and cut only up to the next line. Lightly cut. Stop at the other line down here. So you keep pressing down until you feel the paper has come off. So anyway, when you're done, it should look like this. Don't completely cut off the paper because we need that. And the bleeds are here so that when you cut, there's no white line. Alright. Align these lines. Be very careful with these. You can use scissors, you can use an X-Acto knife, but this is the best way to cut. Especially when the blade is nice sharp. You just take this piece off and move up to the next one. And I've had this for like 2 years. Okay, see? Do not rush with this because you will end up cutting yourself, cutting the paper improperly. It's going to be all jacked up. Trust me, I've done it. Just take your time. And this will be left over. And you'll have this little teeny thing over here. It's a little under 8 because of how I cut it, because I can't really see in this setup. Get a pencil and mark. Okay. It should be right around here. I use my cutting mat for this. So if you are cutting with the blade, make sure that you use a cutting mat or use like cardboard surface. Just make sure you cut it on something that you don't want to get all scratched up. So don't just use a bare table or anything like that. And make sure the surface is clean as well. But I got this cutting mat at Utrecht. Well, now Utrecht and Blick Art Materials are one store. This is 18 by 24 size. But if you want to use a smaller size for like traveling and stuff, you can get smaller sizes. Since my setup is kind of off, I'm just gonna put my ruler. Since this is straight, I'm just gonna put my ruler to the end there and align it to the line, and then draw it there. Very light, very light. I mean, if you're a pro, you can just go straight into the blade with it once you line it up with the ruler, but I'm gonna use pencil. That's the best way if you're not sure with your measurements. Now, since this is cardstock, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to fold. So you take your blade and lightly go across once, times twice, and it cuts it a little bit. Take your finger, the nails is really good, but lightly press upwards. That way you don't get any wrinkles. As we fold the paper, you can always go back and erase these lines. I just realized something. If you're gonna print a card or something, the cover should be on this side. The front should be on the right and the back should be on the left, so that way when you have to fold it, then this will be the front. You just open it like this. I'll redo it and then print it and show you what it looks like. When you test out prints, do it in black and white first. I did this one in black and white this time because my color ink is practically gone.